So guys, this video has everybody scratching their heads. Mother splits Happy Meal with 4 of her kids and herself. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself. Let's get it.
Y'all want to know how to save money? Hold on. So I make this $5 meal.
Again, y'all want to know how I save money or how to save money. She does this to save money.
And I share it with all 4 of my kids. I split it.
And that was a grown man's leg there who's driving as she's doing this. I'm assuming that father, boyfriend, we don't know.
With all 4 of my kids because they not about to waste nothing of mine, okay? Why buy them all a meal when you can split it up? Get my knife. I always split my kids' meal. I never buy them their own because at the end of the day, it's just so wasteful. It definitely is. You put the burger right there, give them a little bit of fries with a nothing. That's meal. Right on here. Okay, you welcome. Okay, 1 Happy Meal down. Uh-oh. Alrighty. There's another one right there. Rayon. Oh, you're welcome. Last but not least.
These 2 need to be arrested. We all know those kids aren't full with that portion of food. We know that. There are just so many things that are wrong here. And the only thing I can think of is a comment I read that said, having too many kids than you can afford is abuse. And I said, you know what? I agree. Has anybody ever been told, hey, you need to stop having kids? I'm wondering if that's ever happened in history. Like I'm talking a court order. Have 1 more child that you cannot afford, and we're taking you to jail. This is unfortunate for these kids, these babies. Let's read a few comments here. Top comment here says, don't have no more kids. Right. I agree with you. Somebody else here added the comment I was looking for. Somebody else who says, okay, because that is not enough for them damn kids. Poor kids, bro. There's something that happens to you. Maybe I'm just getting soft, as time goes on. But when you have your own child, the moment that I started to look at life differently is when I said, you know what? No one asked to be here. You ever just think about that? Like, you don't get to choose the home, the circumstance, the situation you're born to. You don't. And some people are born into sharing a Happy Meal with 3 of their siblings and their mom. Somebody else who says splitting a meal with Meta glasses is crazy. Does she have Meta glasses on? Another person here added, and they could have went to the grocery store and got a $20 meal that lasted 1 week. No excuses. Right. There's a lot they could have gotten that. You just need rice, and now all you need is some type of a protein, some canned vegetables. There's a lot. This is like when you watch those videos with the people who go food stamp shopping and you're just shaking your head the whole time because they'll buy a bunch of junk food. Then there's the health factor. I'm not even going to get into that, but then there's the health factor. It's like, how often does this happen? Every morning? Please don't say it so. Let's pause for a moment to thank the sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Did you know that prenuptial agreements are becoming significantly more common? Yes, especially among young generations like millennials and Gen Z. In fact, one of the expert attorneys featured in our prenup guide says he drafts 3 to 4 prenups every single week, and some firms draft more than 10. The truth is, far more people have prenups than you may realize. Want to know how to get a prenup before it's too late? Click the link pinned to the top of the comment section and take the first step in securing your future marriage and join the hundreds of men protecting their marriages the right way. Somebody else who says, may this life never find me. And added on to this, someone else here says, I was just telling my friend, I pray my children never have to know what a struggle is. Well, now that's too far. And, people who've been through a lot of struggle like to overcompensate in that way. You want struggle. We all need struggle. That's why you became the person you are. Your resilience is as a result of you going through struggle. But there are degrees to this, right? Because struggle can easily turn into serious trauma. And, a situation where your outlook on life actually stuns you. Here's someone else who says 20 nuggets are $6. Let's see. This sad. Yeah. F no. Yeah. Yeah. Just be having kids to have them. Yeah, I think people are really tired of seeing this. I think people are really tired of seeing this. And I also think people are just venting out their frustration, honestly, because they realize there's really no consequence for this, which is also kind of disturbing, right? People can get online and be like, my kids are walking outside barefoot in the city. I recently just saw that here in LA on Skid Row, and I was shocked. You don't get to choose. You don't get to choose. You don't get to choose. Very, very, very unfortunate. I do want to talk to our AI assistant barista, Miss Coffee, before we check out some other reactions here. I'm going to play this one. But first, I want to know, Miss Coffee, quick question. Is there a couple that's ever been told they can't have any more kids because they can't afford to take care of them? Guys, I'm actually curious. Maybe this happens all the time and I just don't know about it.
There isn't any record of a couple in the U.S., or generally in democratic legal systems, being legally told they can't have more kids because they can't afford them. That would violate basic constitutional and human rights protections. People have a fundamental right to decide whether to have children.
Yeah, that's right. The Constitution, how could I forget?
Children. However, there are related cases and situations where courts have restricted someone's parental rights temporarily because of neglect or abuse. For example, the state removes children for safety reasons, or a judge has ordered child support obligations or probation terms that discourage having more children until existing obligations are met, but those are rare and controversial, not outright bans. So, no government can legally stop a couple from having kids just because they're poor, but poverty can affect whether they're allowed to keep custody or qualify for support programs once a child is born.
Yeah, listen, I would be open to situations where, because you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you see people get online and they're living in a hotel room and there are 15 plus people. I saw some video recently with 17 people in a hotel room. They don't need to have another baby. They don't need to have another baby. But I could see the slippery slope there and just how much that could affect freedom, right? What do you guys think? Interesting thought.
Y'all want to know how to save money? Hold on. So I make this $5 meal. And I share it with all four of my kids. I split it with all four of my kids because they're not about to waste nothing of mine, okay? Why buy them all a meal when you can split it up? At the end of the day, it's just so wasteful. It definitely is. Put the burger right there, give them a little bit of fries, definitely bring on here.
Yeah, don't have any more kids. Don't have any more kids. And why do you already have those bowls in the car with you? This must be something you do on a regular basis. That better not be a Meta glass that you're using to record the $5 McDonald's meal that you bought for all four of your kids. I can understand wanting to save money, but to starve your kids in order to do so, that's not the way to go. And there's a man in the car with you. Yeah, we see his crusty ass in the driver's seat. And he's sitting there allowing this.
Right.
Both of y'all trifling as hell.
Right.
You would have been better off going to the grocery store and buying a rotisserie chicken or something and feed those kids instead of a Happy Meal from McDonald's.
Yeah, rotisserie chickens are inexpensive. You get one from Walmart for like, what, around $5 or something like that. Hold up. Let's check out a few comments before we move on. Top comment here says, a big pot of spaghetti with sauce and bread. It is very filling. Yeah. People could just be lazy too, because that one's bothered me for a little bit. Do people hate cooking that much? I think a lot of this is just laziness as well, right? The convenience of going to the drive-thrus.
You can't be serious. I'm saying it if anybody else gonna say it. Some people don't deserve to have kids. This woman went on the internet. This mother allowed 4 kids, plus her, to share a Happy Meal. And she went online bragging about it, and ain't nobody got nothing to say. She said this is how she saves money. She gets 1 Happy Meal, cut the sandwich into 4 pieces, and share it amongst her kids. A $5 meal for 4 kids. You got Meta glasses on recording this happening and talking about saving money? And then you're gonna get mad when people call CPS on you. And let's not even talk about where you went to get the food from. A $5 meal for 4 kids. You claiming that's how you save money. She didn't get on here talking about something that she having hard times and nothing like that. She said this is how she saves money. And she's recording on Meta glasses. And at this point, people on social media is doing everything to go viral. And if y'all think I'm just lying, look at the video right here.
Y'all want to know how to save money? Hold on. So I make this $5 meal, and I share it with all 4 of my kids. I split it with all 4 of my kids because they're not about to waste nothing of mine, okay? Why buy them all a meal when you can split it up? in my life, I always split my kids' meal. I never buy them their own because at the end of the day, it's just so wasteful. Definitely is. Put the burger right here, give them a little bit of fries, and that's it. Bring on here. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, one happy meal now. Uh-oh. All right, there's another one right there. Rayon. Oh, you're welcome. Last but not least.
Look, I'ma say it if ain't nobody else gonna say it. This is not the kind of shit that you post. This is not considered a life hack. 4 kids, 1 Happy Meal. She didn't say that's all the money she had. She didn't say any of that. She really got on the internet like this is just some life hack. And now she's pissed off that social media is frying her in the comments. I mean, I understand if you gotta do what you gotta do. To get on the internet like this is some life hack. To be praised about giving your kid a McChicken, nuggets, and a small fry with 4 kids so they won't waste their food. And people just want to go viral for anything nowadays. And now don't get me wrong, my heart does go out to any parent that's struggling with their kids. But this is not what you need to be posting on the internet because that is not no life hack. Like you ain't even concerned about their stomach. Some people just be having kids. I'ma say it if anybody else gonna say it. That's sad as hell. I mean, if she can't afford it, that's one thing. But it was over for me as soon as she had a Meta glasses on recording this situation, splitting a $5 meal for 4 kids. And the way I see it, she probably ate from it too. And if nobody told you, remember Kimo told you, stay motivated and protect your kids like your life depends on it. And stop posting on the internet how messed up of a parent you is.
Somebody else here says, seriously though, there's a reason spaghetti is a household staple for feeding families. It's cheap and easy to make a lot of it. Here's another person who added, while she was in a Cadillac with camera glasses, by the way. Here's somebody else who says, that made me so mad. Here's somebody else who added, Walmart rotisserie chicken is $4.98. Yeah, I knew it had to be around that price just because I know at Whole Foods it's a little bit, more expensive than that. And so, ballpark. Here's somebody else who says, Little Caesars pizza is cheap. Them babies would have been full. Somebody else who says, McDonald's is not a meal. No nutritional value. I was having a conversation with my wife about this exact conversation. And we're talking about how so many people are flooded by so much information about nutrition that a lot of people are confused. And if there's anything you should know is try to limit sugar. Do your best to limit the amount of carbs you have and increase your fiber. And we're talking about how the nutrition conversation can also be a socioeconomic class issue. Like, for example, if you're somebody who lives close to or a little bit above the poverty line, then you think good nutrition is food that tastes good. And then once you're able to afford that food and you're able to make more money, maybe get to around middle class or so, you start to overindulge in that food. But if you observe people who hit that upper middle class level, and I don't think this is so much about being able to afford that type of food as seen here. When you get to that upper middle class level, you see people start to trade in taste for nutrition, and they know a bit more about how to be more healthy. Now, I'm not some household income expert. We were just having a conversation about why that is. What do you guys think that is? Comment down below. And have you found that to be true?
I just saw this video of a mom splitting up a $5 meal from McDonald's. And if you don't know what that brings, it only brings a 4-piece nuggets, small fries, and a McChicken. She split that up amongst 4 children. The ages were never said or any of that, but it's like those type of videos just makes me have something negative to say, because it's like, if you cannot afford to feed your children separately, I'm not all the time, but if you cannot afford to feed your children separately or buy them their own $5 meal, you should have never had 4 kids, honey. Never. Come on.
Here's somebody else who says hamburger helper is a good meal. Just add broccoli as a side dish. Here's somebody else who says cook for them. Here's somebody else who says 4 kids, you can buy 4 double cheeseburgers for just $10. And somebody responded back to him and says, and they have buy one, get one half off. Pretty much everybody was sort of disturbed by this video.
I know times it's hard for everybody, but look at this mama say she feed 4 kids off of one $5 meal from McDonald's. And if you don't know what a $5 meal is, it's a McChicken, which is 1 sandwich, or you could get a double cheeseburger, which is 1 sandwich, 4 chicken nuggets, a drink, and fries. Y'all watch this and tell me what you think about it.
And I share it with all 4 of my kids. I split it with all 4 of my kids because they not about to waste nothing of mine, okay? Why buy them all a meal when you can split it up? Get my knife. I always split my kids' meal. I never buy them their own because at the end of the day, it's just so wasteful. It definitely is. You put the burger right there, give them a little bit of fries, with a nuggets. That's it.
So yeah, you did better going to Little Caesars and getting a $5 pizza or something like that. I mean, but again, my question is, what are the ages of the children too? Because if they're little bitty toddlers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, in steps like that, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You know, you can definitely stretch that. But then again, no, because you know, my kids, they ate like men. But, you know, to each his own. Everybody got to do what they got to do. But, I mean, hey, that's a nice little snack on the way. You know, if you got somewhere to be before you get home. But a whole meal to fill them up, I don't know.
Hey, guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon-to-be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.